My name is Jake Brookman. I'm the founder and CEO of Coin Fund, which is a crypto-focused investment firm based in New York City, and we've been making investments in the space since 2015. I'm here with my friend Remco from Worldcoin. I'm excited to ask him a bunch of questions about Worldcoin. And I'll just say Coin Fund is an investor in Tools for Humanity, the company that created Worldcoin, back in 2021. So welcome, Remco. Can you give a little bit of an intro for yourself?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's amazing to be here. So I'm Remco Bloemen. I'm with the Worldcoin Foundation now, where I'm leading kind of the R&D on the protocol, the cryptography behind the system, and excited to talk more about what Worldcoin is and what we do.
Awesome. So as a first order of business, I just want to talk about the traction that Worldcoin has achieved. Well, first, before maybe we get into traction, can you tell us what Worldcoin is?
Sure. Let's start a little bit with the history of the project. So it was founded by Sam Altman actually quite a few years ago, when he already foresaw this future where artificial intelligence would be indistinguishable from human beings, which was really prescient back then. But now, fortunately, this is common knowledge, and we see the problem. So the two things that needed to happen is we needed a way to get to recognize human beings in the digital domain, and we need to prepare ourselves for the economic impact of having artificial general intelligence in our economy. To tackle the latter, the idea was created of kickstarting universal basic income. In order to do universal basic income, you need to know who are the humans that are supposed to be the recipients of these schemes. So here you are at this hard problem of what is a human in the digital domain. And that triggered the whole project of what's the best way to do this? Several options were considered. In the end, what we found is that using iris-based biometrics is the only scalable, viable, solid solution that can get you perfect privacy and inclusivity and global reach. So that's where we are. We have this beautiful orb device that you've seen, and with that you can sign up into the system and be able to prove yourself anonymously to be a unique human being on-chain.
Awesome. So now let's get into the traction piece. I think it's sometimes lost on crypto people that we're all here to create global mainstream adoption of blockchains and the products that are built upon them. And actually, Worldcoin, if you don't count crypto exchanges, is probably one of the most adopted blockchain products that exist in the world. So can you tell us a little about the metrics of that traction, and why do you think Worldcoin has been able to achieve that where many other projects have not?
Yeah, so some quick numbers out there. We have over 13 million users in the app. We have almost 7 million of those verified human beings. So of those, we're probably the only team that can guarantee you that our users are actually unique, real human beings. We have the best SIPL protection. That's the core thing. So what is it, like 5 million monthly active users, and I don't know how many transactions, a lot actually, enough for us to start building our own chain to support all of that. Yeah, the thing that got me into Worldcoin in the first place is the fact that we start from solving this real world problem and then bringing it back. And actually, it didn't even start out with blockchains. It just naturally rolled out as the solution strategy, hence we're there. And this approach really takes well. Like, we have this concrete problem that we're solving, and we're solving it live in the field. This gets us a lot of traction.
Great. One of the features of Worldcoin is a device that can measure your biometrics in order to prove your humanity, prove the uniqueness of your humanity. And of course, one of the issues that has come up is the issue of privacy. And to me, Worldcoin is one of the most Web3 values compliant projects that's doing proof of humanity through a biometrics implementation. It feels like you guys have gone above and beyond to use all kinds of frontier technologies to ensure the privacy of users on the network and the biometrics in the device. So can you talk a little bit about what are the strategies that Worldcoin has done to ensure privacy?
Yeah, this is extremely important to us. We are very much aligned with building the most decentralized, maximally privacy protecting system you could have for digital identity, because we think it's important and we think it's the only way to succeed at the scale that we're aiming for. Some of the things we've done from day one is the moment you sign up, you create an anonymous account. So every time you use your World ID to prove that you're a unique human being, this is anonymous. If you vote on a DAO proposal as a one human, one vote, and the next day you vote on a different one, not only don't you know who was the one voting, you don't even know that those two votes came from the same person. This is extremely important. This is a level of privacy that doesn't exist at the moment in the identity space. And this is one layer of our defense in depth strategy, where at many points in the equation during the sign-up, we have similar strategies where we're either using zero-knowledge proofs, multi-party computation, trusted hardware. The ORP itself is a marvel of engineering. It's all open source. You can check it on GitHub. It is an extremely sophisticated device just to make sure that a real human being is trying to sign up. And all of this comes together in what in the end becomes a very elegant package that is focused on the user. And here we're going back to this core concept of user centrality. It is the user that goes to the ORP and has a selfie taken. It is the user that goes to the MPC servers and has their uniqueness proven. It is the user that goes to the blockchain and has themselves added to the anonymous set. And it is the user that initiates any transaction using keys that they hold in their wallets. It is all self-custody.
So when someone signs up to Worldcoin, they go through the process of getting scanned, and then they also go into the World app. What can users do on the World app today?
In World app today, at the moment we actually kept it deliberately simple because our target audience, the initial audience that we're reaching, are generally people that are new to DeFi, new to crypto. So we don't want to overwhelm them with all of the complexity and chaos that can happen there. So the wallet is deliberately simple. World ID at the moment has a couple of integrations where you can prove, you can verify your accounts, you can verify that you're not a bot on social platforms. We're building this out as we go along. We'll have a couple of very cool announcements in an event we'll be hosting mid-October, so definitely check that out.
Awesome. So let's talk about the Worldcoin roadmap. You mentioned that your guys are rolling out your own chain. Why does Worldcoin need yet another blockchain? And what is so special about this blockchain?
I mean, why do we need our own chain? Well, one reason is simply because we're forced to. Right now, we are on Optimism, and there we are consuming, I think, more than 60% of the block space. And whenever we have an airdrop period going on, the transaction queues are measured in days. So we just need it to solve the scaling problem. But it's also an incredible opportunity. Because we have this native concept of a human being in our infrastructure, we can also build an L2 on the OP stack, part of the superchain ecosystem, but an L2 that is human first. And a unique thing we'll be launching with is that every human being will get a certain amount of block space allocated to them. And they don't have to compete against traders, they don't have to compete against MEV. They will just have an amount of transactions that they will be able to get through in this chain because of this human-centric nature that we're able to endow it with.
One of the really unique, I think, approaches that Worldcoin has taken compared to other identity projects is they have kind of a global rollout. Can you tell us about the scope of countries that Worldcoin has covered, and what are sort of your plans for the future?
Oh man, we are everywhere. Let's see, I think we're at every continent except Antarctica at the moment, and I'm sure that is being worked on. We'll be launching in 3 to 5 more markets in Asia soon, and we'll be growing rapidly from there.
Is Singapore going to be one of those markets?
We're already active in Singapore.
You're already in Singapore.
We are already in Singapore.
And like one of the really impressive things I think historically is that you were able to convert, I think, a few million users, but you only had a couple of hundred devices out in the world.
Yes.
Like how many devices are out there today? Where are they? Where can people find them?
So there are 4,000 orbs that have been manufactured, but most of them are actually, the orbs are not the bottleneck. This is what I thought in the beginning as well. Turns out the bottleneck is just the logistics of getting orbs to the right locations, finding the right locations.
All right, well, as we wrap up the conversation, where do you see Worldcoin maybe like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, maybe 20 years from now?
Man, 10 years is a long time horizon with AGI coming this close. But let's do 5 years. What I think we'll do as Worldcoin is we will push hard for maximally privacy-preserving online identity. We're getting to this stage where we need to get serious about verifiable credentials online. And we're also getting at the stage where technologies like zero-knowledge proofs are maturing to an extent that you can take very complex queries and be able to have them self-custody, client-side be proved. We're basically, in the next 5 years, we'll get to a point where you as a human being can prove anything about yourself to a third party without revealing anything you don't want to reveal, without having to rely trust-wise on anyone besides the data that you just have in your own wallet.
Thanks, Remco. And for the people sitting in the audience, like, what is the best thing that they can do to engage the Worldcoin project today?
What you can do if you're here now today is we have an Orb Cafe just outside, and that is a great place to meet and greet us. You can check our website, worldcoin.org, for all of the events that we are participating in and talking at. And yeah, there you will find a good overview of what would be the best way to get in touch with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for telling us about Worldcoin.
Thank you so much for hosting us here.
All right.